Hi Manifesting fam, Meera Allen here with your Manifesting Destiny Moon update. We've got a massive Aquarius Super Moon happening, and it's happening this 9th or 10th of February, and it is also Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon. It has also been Yamanja, Mama Ocean's birthday, that's celebrated all across Brazil and parts of Africa, or Yamanya, however you want to pronounce that. And it has been a time where we look at the air, the waters, the earth, the heavens. It's all just coming to this fruition of what it is that we want to vision, what it is we want to, like the water bearer, pour in to our existence right now. Let's start with this new moon times. We've got LA, February the 9th, and that's going to be at 2:59 in the afternoon. For New York, it'll be at night at 5:59 in the evening. London at 10:59 on the 9th as well, in the evening at night. Sydney, Australia, 10th of Feb at 9:59 a.m. And if you're local, Brisbane, Sunshine Coast time, it's 8:59 for us in the morning of the 10th. So this dragon energy, it's meant to be one of the luckiest years that we have. This wood dragon is also about really creating good structure and foundation of what it is that you want to transform into and build. And that ties in so much with what Aquarius does. Aquarius, I've got heaps of notes actually. Aquarius is all about forging your own new path and seeing that vision and making that vision come to reality in a creative way that you can see a new world, a whole new concept of reality. Right now, the world's reality is a little bit dark at times. I think that's what I'm feeling around and looking around the world. It's quite an intense time that we're living in. Speaking of intense times that we're living in, back to the year of the dragon. So the people that are born on these years, 1952, 1964, 1976, 1988, the year 2000, big year, 2012, massive year, 2024, and then 2036. Every 12-year increment is how the Chinese calendar shifts in those 12 lunar cycles. So when we look at these years that have gone past, the intensity of those years, I remember in 1988 really well, because I came up to Brisbane for the first time, I think it was, when we were kids. It was the bicentenary year in Australia. 2000, remember the whole hullabaloo about Y2K and the world's going to kind of end in the year 2000 because of this whole, changing the millennia. Then we have 2012 and a lot of Nostradamus's predictions, the Mayan calendars, lots of predictions were happening that 2012 seemed like the end of a world, which it was the beginning of the new world. It was the beginning of a shift in humanity, which we really, really needed. And the light workers on the earth were waking up. The people that were connected consciously and internally in their inner meditation were waking up. They were being called onto the spiritual path with great discipline. It wasn't a very pleasant year 2012, but it was bringing everything to the surface so that you could transform and set your new trajectory. And here we come now. So after 2012, another 12 years later, we come to 2024. And here we are, the post-COVID pandemic, whatever you want to call it, and then we're looking at the next major dragon year is 2036. But what are we going to do from this trajectory from 2024 to 2036? How do you see the future? How do you see the world? How do you see your world? How do you see this? All these souls of humanity, we're all just one soul. The oppressors, the governments, the workers, the 9-to-5ers, the entrepreneurs, the free thinkers, we're all one soul. All of us, every single drop of every single person is attached to the same frequency that keeps us alive. Our life sustenance, our one soul energy, or Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it. So if we are really collectively a whole lot of drops in this mega, 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 mega ocean of souls, how do we really, really connect in? How do we really start to create a shift together? If enough droplets get together, we start to create these little pools of energy. I'm saying this and the rain has just started, like tons of rain droplets pouring down like crazy. How do we get that momentum? And I think that's a collective consciousness together. We get that momentum to forge ahead in this new moon, super new moon in Aquarius. It's really the time where people are starting to think completely outside of the box. And that's actually becoming more mainstream, I guess, rather than conforming to these roles that we have in these set number of years. And then we get to 65 and then we retire and then we grow old and then we die and we just watch TV till the very end, to our death. Our eyes are fixed upon a screen to the time that we die. Is that what all this is about? We are far more cooler than that. As a human species, as a human race, we're all not meant to be locked up in our little boxes behind screens. That's not what we're meant to be doing. We're meant to be living our lives and raising the frequency for humanity. I wrote a few things down. What is the future world that you wish to live in? What does it mean to be a freedom seeker for yourself? What does it feel like that you can change in your life to make yourself a better future? How can you be creative, progressive, and use your intelligence? How do you use that water bearer part of you? Man, if you guys could see the rain going on out here. The water bearer part of you that is not just bearing water towards you, but it's showering the outpourings of spiritual goodness, the etheric goodness, the consciousness, the pouring the abundance of your way forward, your prosperity, everything that you know that you need to flow. How does that sit in your imagination? Had a conversation this morning about fear versus responsibilities versus freedom and how to get into that space. And it isn't always easy. We get fully challenged in this space when we are going through such big changes in the world. And that's just individually, but then that spreads into a collective level as well. I asked earlier before I recorded this, what is the overarching feeling that we need to have for the collective consciousness? And it was transformation was the card that came through. So things are changing at a cellular level. There is a chance, an opportunity for deep healing. So looking at this transformation card, it's magical. She's magical, you know. She's holding that power of transformation. How can you transform where you can sit back and actually observe your inner transformation? I've been having a lot of conversations actually about the butterfly and the chrysalis, because I've been feeling very homey, very internal, and trying to get my legs to work and push out of this chrysalis that I've been really stuck in, and it's time to break out of it now. And sometimes we get really comfortable in our little cocoons, and sometimes it takes those last little bit of a stretch, a push, to actually open up to what that new chapter of life is really about. And that's happening not just individually, that's happening collectively. So if you're feeling it, chances are your neighbor's feeling it. If you're feeling it, chances are your colleagues are feeling it. We're all in this one massive soul family together. We're creating, we're manifesting a reality together. Where we talk about like when Kari York and Sat York, the era of lust, greed, anger, and attachment that we've shifted from, and we're moving, we get to be the pioneers of Sat York. We get to be the pioneers of the era of truth and compassion and love and expansion and freedom. And we get to actually live that like sovereign light beings, which we actually are. I wrote this little thing a while ago that I gave a talk about the galaxies in the universe and, you know, and the soul level and how that all fits in. And I invite you guys to just close your eyes right now if you feel like it. And just think, before this day, before this week, before the last 100 years, before your lifetime, before this earth, before this solar system, before this galaxy, before this universe, before this multiverse, before this cosmos, all there really was a vacuum of a light-like substance. And all of us were created in some way from this vacuum of light. So when we go into the quantum and we start to vision, and then you come back to your day-to-day reality and you think, is this all so important? What is this divine dance that we're part of? What is our soul's journey collectively? Every living sentient being, every blade of grass, every little plant, every little insect, all of it is in a dance together. We all are part of this magnificent energy of light. This is resounding in all of us. And this is the frequency that we can tap into. We deserve to tap into. And it is our divine right we tap into it. And especially now, when there are things trying to put us in the shadow, put us in the dark, close us off from that. And then we remember that darkness is only really the absence of light. There's no really such thing as darkness. Even the negative energies in the earth, it can't even be there. You can't have a shadow unless there's not the sunlight beaming. So all this darkness we're looking at on the earth, all the darkness that you see in life, it wouldn't be there if there wasn't the contrast of the light. But there comes a point of time when all duality ceases to exist. And when we're in that meditative space, we automatically transform. This is our true sovereign nature. And the more and more we tap into this frequency, nothing can actually affect us and penetrate us at that quantum level. It's beyond the quantum. Nothing can penetrate that frequency, that sound. No 5G tower, nothing, nothing, nothing. This is the difference between us and AI. You know, each of these animals and birds and whatever, they all have relying on the elements of, you know, fish need water and birds need air and earth and water, and, you know, all these, and the quadrupeds need water, earth, air and fire. They need 4 elements. Humans are the 5th element. We've got ether. We can attach to the etheric part of ourselves that's sustaining our life force consciously. We are so lucky to be the ones on earth right now. They get to use this element of ether. You won't believe it. The rain just stopped and the clouds are just clearing and there's blue sky in that little gap. We get to use this. We get to vision this. We are the ones that get to guide the future now. The dark energy, yes, they're trying, and yes, all this, you know, pedophilia rings and all these things that people, that we it's going on this earth, yes. But if we individually start raising our frequency up and up and up and up, even those that are caught in the dark shadows will have to untangle and they will have to come into the light. They'll be put in situations where they'll be brought into that light. We don't know from a karmic level what is actually happening at their soul level. But we get to be the ones that bask in that light, bringing that light frequency, bringing a vision that humanity will come back to being human. We are the ones that have that faith. We take that leap of faith. We vision it. Not the television visioning it for us, but we vision it inside with our eyes closed. Just like Alice in Wonderland says, you can't see anything until you close your eyes. So be like Alice in Wonderland and close your eyes and see inside. See inside the true reality and leave this illusion of this 3D world. Close off from your screens and your TVs and your phones and your technology. And spend that time within, consciously being that light, raising that frequency on planet Earth. This is your duty to do. This is part of our bigger divine purpose, why we're all here. Didn't know it was going to go like that today. I'm going to give a card from the light deck, of course. Work your light. Where is it? From the beautiful Rebecca Campbell. And I'm not paid by her or do anything. I've never met her actually. What is it? The collective consciousness, the new moon, super new moon, the new year, Chinese New Year. What is it that consciousness in the whole collective, every drop of this marvelous ocean? Oof. What is it that wants to come to be revealed? Great Spirit, show us. Wow, trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Look at that. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do, fam? If you knew you would be supported. Trust your path. Let's find this from the book, and I will just 54. I'll hold it up while I read it. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north. Take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they're waiting to see the end destination before they take their first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could have possibly imagined. Do not micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. Your work your light inquiry question is, if you knew you would be supported no matter what would you do? I'm Meera Allen. I hope you enjoyed your super moon update for this new moon in Aquarius. Happy Chinese New Year. Year of the Dragon. Happy birthday to all the Aquariuses out there, and have an awesome new moon. Namaste.